Oh my God. The best thing about this show is that when they first announced Cobra Kai, right? The season one, I mean, when the show was first getting started, I remember thinking, will the show ever get to the point where it can stand on its own in a conversation like what we have with the Karate Kid films? Or is it always going to be eclipsed by the best quotes and the best moments and everything from the films?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I remember thinking, well, this could be one of those situations where, like, by season 6 or 7, you still don't really have that many quotable, memorable moments in the show.
Yeah. How wrong you were.
I know. I was gonna lie. Well, it wasn't a prediction. It was just it was like a worst case scenario. I thought, what if we're at a point where like we make this list of like our favorite quotes, and we're like 5 or 6 seasons in, and everything's pretty much from the movies. You know, like you see a lot of bands do this. Like the bands will go on tour. And they play like 90% of the first album. And then like all the other albums, they just kind of forget, or they play maybe one song, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was afraid that could be the case with this show.
Yeah.
And instead, we're at a point where even just from the first 3 seasons, right? Forget season 4, which is most recent for a moment.
Yeah.
From just the first 3 seasons alone, it's so quotable that I don't even need to go into the movies.
No, we quote these seasons all the time in our daily conversation. It's funny.
Well, let's look at the first 3 seasons alone and some of the best quotes. Because there are so many. I mean, right from the first episode of season 1.
Yeah.
There were so many great quotes.
Yes.
How about when Johnny says, where he says, "Oh, quit bitching at me."
Yeah, that was good.
Right? And then it wasn't so much that one was funny. It was in the follow-up. Is then when he's on the phone, he goes, he's explaining himself. And you know he's fired immediately.
Yeah.
You know, they just jump cut. And like he's explaining himself to Mike. And he says, no, I didn't call her a bitch, Mike. I said she was bitching at me. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And he's right, by the way.
You're firing me because of that bitch?
Yeah. I mean, that's a few quotes, I guess, but that was hilarious.
That was good.
He's like, what are some other favorite quotes that you had from earlier?
Oh, so many of mine are, it's not so much the quote as in how it was delivered that makes it so memorable and quotable for me. So, and several of them, as I look at my list, are from Miguel. So Miguel just delivers the lines. So when he's talking to Johnny and he says, "Oh my God," that just like
it's the way he delivers it.
It's the way he delivered it. You could say those 3 words a million different ways, and the way that he delivered that was so adorable.
It is funny. It's hard to tell somebody that a hilarious quote from Miguel is "Oh my God."
"Oh my God."
It's like anybody would say, "Well, what are you talking about? Oh my God, what's the big deal?" But it's the way Johnny said. Because keep in mind what happened. Johnny tells him that Tommy got brain damage from that fight with Miyagi, which is so fitting. And he's like, he got brain damage from that fight. And Miguel is so in the moment, right? He's not taking it with a grain of salt. He's really hanging on Johnny's
He's taking it in.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing ever."
That was...
Do you have another favorite quote from that same conversation where Johnny's telling him the whole backstory?
Oh, yeah. When Johnny's talking about Daniel... And Miguel says, "What an asshole."
I love that. What an asshole.
He's calling the Karate Kid an asshole.
And especially what's funny about that is because Miguel, at that point in the story, is very much mirroring, not knowing, he's mirroring Daniel's story. His maintenance man from his broken down apartment complex is teaching him karate, right? Because he's been getting beaten up by kids. It's this, he's paralleling exactly, and yet he's referring to Daniel as an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because you're like, "Oh my God, kid, if you only knew."
Yeah. Yes.
That's so awesome. What other favorite quotes do you have?
Oh, okay. So from a lesser character, it's not Danny, it's not Daniel or Johnny or any of the main kids. Armand, when he tries the boba tea, because for some reason he felt compelled to try this boba tea, which Daniel had kicked out of Tom Cole's hands, and he's on the phone with Daniel. "I tried the boba. I don't like it." The way that he said, "I don't like it."
There's something funny about that. I don't know why, but I agree. Like, I don't like it. He makes it. What I like about that is he made it sound as if someone had put him up to drinking.
Yeah.
No one put him up to anything.
Yeah.
There's another quote that goes along with that though too. Is that when Armand, when he first tells Daniel, he says, "Yeah, what happened with you? You kick a hot coffee out of Tom Cole." I love that because again, the show does this really well. Is the way people, like the telephone game, always it just screws up the whole story of what you're really trying to get across. And Daniel didn't kick a hot coffee, but that sounds a lot worse, right? If it's hot coffee flying around.
Yeah, that's a lot more dramatic.
It's dangerous, right? It's like a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
So when he's like, you kick hot coffee, and immediately Daniel gets that snarky, like, Daniel loves correcting people, right?
Yes.
So he gets, no, it wasn't like that at all. It was a boba. It's just like a tapioca. Like, something is so funny about all of that. Every line in there is hilarious to me.
Yeah. Yes. So the I don't like it. Like, I now quote that all the time. Yeah. Anytime there's something I don't like, I can't just say I don't like this. I have to say it like Armand said it. I don't like it.
You know, real quick, I'll tell you one the creators were really into that they used to quote, and now it doesn't really come up anymore. It kind of got forgotten, but...
What's that?
Get your house in order, LaRusso.
Yeah, they thought that was going to be like a really big moment.
They mentioned that in a couple of interviews, and it didn't really take off. I don't particularly care for that one. I think that one's not really... as quotable, you know?
Yeah.
If I made a list of 200 of my favorite quotes, that probably wouldn't make the 200.
Yeah, I wonder if other people feel the same way.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. Get your house in order.
Yeah. So hit the like button, by the way.
I do like, though, when Daniel had first shown up in season 1, early in season 1, to confront Johnny at his dojo, his brand new dojo, before he even opened, and Daniel says, he says, oh, Johnny Lawrence calling someone else an asshole. That's rich. Actually, there's a great quote right before that, because Johnny says, he goes, no, I didn't beat up a bunch of teenagers. Remember this?
Oh, yeah. That is, I forgot to put that on my list, but that is definitely one of my favorite
Go ahead and do it.
Quotes and moments. I didn't beat up a bunch of teenagers. Oh gosh, now how did it go?
I kicked the shit out of
a bunch of assholes who deserved it. Yeah.
Johnny likes to set you up one way.
Yeah.
Like he's admitting to something or he's caving, and then he spins it right around very quickly. He loves that.
Yes.
That was so much fun. So many great lines. How about when even that whole conversation when Daniel goes, look, I'm not here to rehash the past, right?
Yep.
And then when he ends up saying, he goes, hey, Johnny, you, me, this, and he's pointing around the dojo. He goes, we weren't done. Yeah. That was a really interesting little threat that he left on.
Yeah. That was very LaRusso.
If you're not done, then why does Daniel do this? He drops a threat. You don't just drop a challenge and leave. There's another one. That comes up a lot. Now remember, drop a challenge and leave.
That's a callback to the film.
Yes, that's from the first film, right? You know, when Kreese says that to Miyagi, he says, "You don't just come in here and drop a challenge and leave, old man." But then they got used in the show. Like Chris says that at one point. Yeah. In season 2, he's like, "You don't just drop a challenge and leave." Yeah. That's brilliant.
Cobra Kai does a lot of quotes that harken back to the films. And so that's kind of neat because if you really know the films, you'll pick up on it. And if you don't, and you just think it's original and it still works. The only one that hasn't really worked for me is, not to digress, but is the kid in season 4 that tells Anthony LaRusso, looks like everyone's doing something new. Yeah, that one didn't really work for me.
That was lame. But we're just talking season 1, 2, and 3. What else we got for season 1? There's so many.
Oh, so many. Season 1, it's an Atari.
It's an Atari. It was the best. And then in season 2, we basically did it again, but he says it's a Dell.
It's a Dell.
That guy was so much fun. I hope he's back in future seasons.
I know, they've got to bring him back. He is super fun. Okay, so also from season 1, this one I have to bring up is from Amanda when she and Daniel are at the country club and he's talking about Johnny Lawrence and the Cobra Kai dojo. And she says, oh, do you mean that blonde pretty boy? And Daniel says, I don't remember calling him pretty.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so it's from Daniel, not Amanda, but Amanda sets it up. So I love that one. That is like a typical LaRusso snarky, I don't remember calling him pretty.
That was great.
Yeah, it was.
You know, another funny thing, we were talking about the Miguel quotes. Yeah. And all is the way he delivers them. Yeah. He says things that again, they're not really truly funny. But, like, how about when he just goes to Johnny, because that's not going to work.
Yeah, that was good.
Like, on the script itself, it's not really funny, but he delivers it so, that's not going to work. Right. It's like up there with, oh my God.
That is what a skilled actor does.
How about, you love Johnny with the plantains,
Oh my God, that was so funny. Having the plantains. Well, where we come from, it's called a banana, or... I know I misquoted it, but, you know.
He says, here we just call them bananas.
Here we just call them bananas. Like, no, Johnny, they are plantains. They're not bananas.
You like to, you love Dimitri. Because Dimitri has that line that you love so much.
Call the police?
It's the way the actors are so great. So the way he's like, you don't call the police. Like, he's just, in his world, all you do is run from trouble and try to get out of it. So, like, he can't even understand the idea of fighting back yet. Oh, my God. You know, I'll give you a great quote that came actually from Cousin Louie, is when he says, it was to Cousin Louie from Johnny.
Okay.
When Johnny says, "Where does Daniel LaRusso live?"
Yeah.
That doesn't seem all that quotable. Like, you don't go around joking with that with your friends, but I love that line because that's when I thought the show was really getting heightened. I thought we were going to get some serious violence.
Yeah, yeah.
And remember, this was season 1. We didn't know how goofy and campy the show would ultimately stay, but I love that. Like, that to me got so intense.
Yeah.
I thought we were going somewhere big. I'll tell you my absolute favorite quote from season 1.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's maybe my favorite quote from all these first 3 seasons, actually.
Okay.
It's kind of a two-parter. It's in the very end of episode 10, when Johnny turns to Daniel after Daniel decides he's going to coach Robbie, right, in that final fight.
Yeah.
And Johnny comes up to Daniel and he says, "You're going to regret this when it's over." And Daniel's got the best line ever, and he goes, "Yeah, like this will ever be over."
You love that one.
To me, that is the quote of the whole show. That's the quote of the show. Let's talk season 2 with the little bit of time we have left.
Yeah.
I know which one you love in season 2. It's called The Dojo.
I love that one.
That's one of my favorites too.
Daniel to Amanda.
When Amanda's like, in your karate school, it's like, it's called the way Daniel.
I know, he's so irritated, but he's being playful.
Oh my God, that's the best. I know another one that we like a lot is "This is mercy."
Yes, God.
Johnny's literally got the guy on the ground. He's like, I think Johnny's probably kicked him or something at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
And the guy goes, and Johnny says, "You're lucky I'm showing you mercy."
Yeah. This is mercy.
That was the best. That guy was such an asshole.
Yeah, he was.
Season 2 also gave us "You have reached the smartphone answering machine of Johnny Lawrence."
That is one of my faves.
I'll tell you one that's not funny. We're doing a lot of funny quotes, but I love when Tommy and Johnny have their final talk.
Yeah.
Not knowing it's going to be the final talk.
Right.
And Tommy looks at him and he says, "You were always the better fighter, Johnny." Mm-hmm. And that's something about that really hits home.
Yeah.
And even when, before that, when they were at the bar and Tommy they were talking about Crease and things got really dark and the mood really got brought down.
Yeah.
And then Tommy just says, he wants to just kind of cut the shit. So he says, "I'm in the mood to play some pool. You want to play some pool with me?" And Johnny just looks at him and he says, "I'll play some pool with you, Tommy."
Yeah.
I felt like that was it was very much them just saying, "Yeah, let's harken back to old times again and get out of this."
Yeah, yeah.
I really like that.
That was such a great storyline and such a great scene.
I'll tell you some of my favorite quotes in season 2.
Yeah.
Or one of my absolute favorites was when Daniel stormed the Johnny's dojo in Cobra Kai. And he says, "I'm not going to strike first." Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah, that was good. Little did we know that a later season he would definitely strike first.
But that was such a great moment when he did that. Oh, how about, "I'm done with these shitty apps."
Oh, I love that one. That is one of my favorite because it's just so fun.
The woman who Johnny, when he in season 1, in the very first episode, when he was supposed to put her TV up, and then he ends up going on a date with her from that app, and then she just hates him and storms off. I'm done with these shitty apps.
That was fun.
She's the best because she just hates customer service all
That
the way
was a
around.
great way to bring her back in, and it fit.
I'll tell you one more. Oh, perfectly. One more thing is in the restaurant with Johnny and Daniel. When they got stuck next to each other, there were like a million funny quotes.
One of my favorite scenes.
Right. And Daniel's like, I didn't need an army. It was just little old me beating Cobra Kai. And Johnny's like, "No, bigger is better." And
yes.
Well, let's talk season 3 because we're almost out of time. Okay. So season 3, how about when Kumiko, there's so many great quotes here.
Yeah.
There's more heart in season 3.
Yes.
But when Kumiko, when Daniel says, "How are you still a free agent?"
Yeah.
And she says, "Well, many men have tried, but she said, no one ever fought to the death for me before."
I loved that one so much.
Oh, that just hurts so much, right? Like,
and in real life, I think that would be so accurate.
Yeah, like Daniel says, he goes, "That's a tough act to follow."
It is.
Or something like that.
It really is. For a young girl, yeah.
Oh, that was emotional. Also, when Yuna tells Daniel says something about getting a drink with her, and she says, "I should hope so, Daniel's son, because I'm about to save your business."
Yeah.
That was huge, too.
I loved
Bringing it all back. God, that season 3 was so emotional.
Yeah.
Another big one, season 3, also emotional quote was when Allie tells Johnny, when she says, "I will always be there for you." You know that, right?
Yeah, that got me in the feels.
That was especially sweet. Oh, there's so many good things. Another one, too. How about when Hawk changes sides during the fight at the LaRusso house?
Yeah.
And he saves Dimitri and then turns to him and goes, hey, man, I'm sorry for all of it. And he goes, you want to win this thing with me?
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yes.
They became friends again immediately.
That was another fist in the air moment for me. I was
yes,
like, yes!
It was. Very fist in the air. Here's a fist in the air moment for me.
Yeah.
Is when Kreese was down on the ground and then he says, we'll settle it the old-fashioned way. Tournament.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Anyway, guys, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another great list of ranking stuff.
Hit
See
like.
you then. Yeah, hit like, subscribe.